to you, Barrister Fred Oke Nzeako. I'll be patient. He's there.
Good morning, Lori.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Great. A fine morning to you. I've just said, okay, there you are. Good to see you. Well, in case it plays a bit wonky, I guess we'll understand. But thank you so much for making time for us. It's just good that I said that my guest is a lawyer. I mean, you look anything but like a lawyer. You look like a sportsman or some sort. What with your cap and all of that. But it's all good. Okay, of course.
Well, sometimes the lawyer is not in court and he will want to exercise the freedom of dressing down. And sometimes joining the sportsmen to feel how they feel.
Okay.
So I'm glad the face has not changed, but the head and the attire may have changed.
There you go.
So once again, good morning to you and good morning to our dear esteemed viewers.
A fine morning to you. That has sorted that out. Of course, the important question, I mean, I put on a jacket myself for this kind of topic because we're talking constitutional amendment. Can you imagine? And the way we're going now. Most people know the story. If you're going to amend the Constitution, there is a way to go. And so cutting it very, very short, Houses of Assembly, state Houses of Assembly have now deliberated on the 44 bills that were sent to them by the National Assembly. And we understand that most of them, I think it is 35 of them, 35 of those bills, 35 of those laws have actually been approved, but not all. First of all, give me your overview. Maybe you'll also touch on those that were not touched on or acted upon by the state houses of assembly. I suppose the most notable of all of this is, autonomy for local government councils. That one, nobody wanted to touch it over 10-foot pole, and we are hearing commentary in headlines that something like state assemblies agree with their governors because it is felt that the governors were the guys who were behind all of this. But give me your overall impression with the news that came out yesterday.
Well, of course, you know that issue of constitutional amendment primarily is the responsibility of the National Assembly. But at a second level, it also involves the rest of the people represented by the various state houses of assembly. And that is why for any item on the Constitution to be amended, it must not only have the concurrence of both chambers of the National Assembly, it must also have the buy-in by way of the Assent by 2/3 of the states of the Federation, in which case, for any item to stand amended, not only will the National Assembly have worked and tinkered with it, completed the legislative action on it, but it must go through the state assemblies, whereby 24 states assemblies are expected to have given their concurrence before it can be said to be ready for passage and for the assent by Mr. President. And that has always been the provision of the Constitution. And that has always been the practice, even with the past amendments of the Constitution 1999 as amended. Now, 43.5 that have gone through National Assembly legislative actions, we also pass through the states Houses of Assembly for assent at the state level before it is passed to Mr. President. And Nigerians are not so much worried about many aspects or many items on that amendment list, the way they are with respect to local government autonomy. And that has always been a sore point. This will be the 5th time the autonomy of local government will pass through legislative input by way of trying to amend it, by way of trying to untangle the local government from the stranglehold of the state governments who run man, control, finance, and do everything that has to do with local government. But of course, which we know is contrary to the spirit of the Constitution, because this Constitution has provided the local government to be the third tier of government, and to be, in a manner of speaking, the most important tier of government, being the one at the closest to the grassroots. But from experience, we found out that the local governments are not only at the beck and call of the state government because of the provision of the Constitution in Section 7 of 1999 Constitution as amended, which created the state local government joint account. And as a matter of fact, the government is run with money. And by the time the monies that come to every local government is put into a joint account with the states to be disbursed by the governor through the commissioner for local government affairs at the various states at the government house. That has more or less stifled and strangulated and castrated the capacity of the local government to discharge their responsibilities and their functions as the third tier of government closest to the grassroots. And I can tell you without a fear of contradiction that virtually every state is guilty of this strangulation of the local government finances. Virtually every state. Any state that claims, or any governor that claims to have given autonomy to the local government is only saying so just to pander to the gallery and to gain popularity among the people, because what is on ground across the whole federation, across all states of the federation, is that every governor is not only interested in knowing what goes on at the local government, but is also in charge of the local government finances, and is also in charge of the local government manpower. Because, and that is why there is never a credible election at the local government level. Every state independent electoral commission that conducts local government election is always guilty of pandering to the whims, the caprices, and the dictates of the government in power in that state. So, in a manner of speaking, local government system in Nigeria is comatose. And we felt and have been hoping that they will be given life through constitutional amendment, but that is not coming. Because once the amendment is done and they go down to the state.
Okay, that was a slight outage there. You understand, it's network drifting in and out. So I'm sure that, okay, will be back with us immediately. But along the lines that he was speaking about, we'll also take calls, we'll also take calls coming in. But he was just saying, in fact, one of the headlines this morning captures it quite well in saying that National Assembly bows to governors on local government autonomy. Of course, the thing wasn't sent to governors, but that's the meaning of it. So that headline saying that National Assembly bows to governors on local government autonomy pretty much sums up what Okay is saying. Now, Okay, you were out for a while, but now you're back. So what, as you've said, it's all constitutionally based. In fact, the desire and the hope that maybe we'll be able to put some legal teeth to it, but no, not yet. Now, why do you think this is what is it is this way? Is it that the people who administer local governments are not trusted to be able to do the right thing, and therefore the governors, if indeed they are behind all of this, would say, no, put it through us, we will then manage it and, allocate to them as required. Is it just a matter of not believing in the capability, even as you've just said, in one sense, it is the local governments are seen as the most important tier of government. But here we are, it appears the state governors are not happy with that.
Well, the state governors seem not to be happy simply because they want to continue to further control every affair of the local government in their states. And when I say every affair, every issue about the local government, starting from the financing, which of course that local government draws its allocation as the third tier of government from the federation account.
Yes.
And whenever it comes, in fact, when the commissioner of finance of every state goes to Abuja for Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting, it comes in dual capacity, both as the commissioner of finance of the state and as the representative of the local government system in the state. So the check is usually written in some cases, in one check. It was only in the era when Dr. Mr. Okonjo-Iweala was the finance minister that she insisted on writing separate checks for the local government and publishing the amount issued to each local government in national dailies. That was when I learned that my local government that I thought was poor was earning as much as 56 to 65 million every month from Federation account.
Exactly.
Not to talk of the IGR of local government.
Okay, so 1 second. 1 second, Fred. I beg your pardon, Fred. Yes. Thank you very much. A caller has come in, so let's listen to him. Good morning, Mr. George, calling in from Lagos.
That law, that constitutional provision about local government operations ab initio is not a workable one. What do I mean?
How do you mean?
You make laws that can work, not the ones that cannot work. You don't make the laws are made for men and not men for the law. How do you have a local government that is answerable, that is not answerable to the governor of the state? But who is he going to be answerable to? To the president in Abuja? Whereas the territory that he is governing is within the state of the governor. If you send money directly to them, that is okay. The federal government could find a way to sending a financial support to the local government directly. But structurally, Uncle Yori, their independence cannot function effectively as long as they are within the state government territory. I don't see it working like that. You in Lagos, for example, you remember one time, one local government in a local government won an election, and all other local governments, a different party won in all other local governments. That party fought to make sure that that local government that won election did not function. It functioned for a few months, Uncle Yori, if you can remember. And in that few months, it became a problem in the Lagos State House of Assembly. The different party was there not because they want to use that local government to help as a government organ, but to disrupt the governance of the state. And the rest of the local government didn't want that, and there was a friction. That's how it's going to be in every state. I think the government, the state governors should take control of local government. That is the one that can work. But the financing can come directly from the federal government. That's the way they have accounts. Just credit the money direct to their accounts. That's the way I see it. We should make laws that can work, not the ones that cannot work in our setup.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much with that perspective, Mr. George. Fred, so what do you think about answerability? If you go to the local government. Okay, please continue.
I have slight deviation from Mr. George's perspectives in terms of who will the local government answer to. The question is, who does the governor answer to?
Exactly.
The governor answers to the people of the state. There are institutions of the state that control every aspect of life of every state. The same way there are institutions of the local government that control the life of the activities of the local government. So the chairman and the executive members of local government should answer to the people. The important thing is answering to the people and not answering being accountable to the governor. The governor himself should also be accountable to the people. The president is accountable to the people. Everyone at different layer and at different tier. Okay. And that is why there are 3 tiers and 3 layers of government.
Okay.
Here we have the Local Government Service Commission, and we have even the legislative houses and local government. The councillors form the legislative houses of the local government, and they make bylaws for the good order and governance of the local government system. And you have staff of the local government but they have their own responsibilities, clearly spelled out in the Constitution. But such responsibilities are completely undermined by the actions of the state governors, who themselves essentially want to control the personnel and the finances of the local government.
Okay, one moment, Fred. One moment, Fred. Let me. Okay, Fred. One moment. Let me bring on Mazi Okoroafo, who has been waiting for a bit. Good morning to you, Mazi Okoroafo.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, I brought on Sky. That man so cut for hours. You see, local government must be autonomous, must be independent. If local governments are not autonomous and independent, there is no development in that. Look, the House of Assembly are part and parcel of the problems we have in the local government. We should go to the causes, not the symptoms. One, when the governor the governor will now come arrange people that will be at the House of Assembly, what will you see? Dictation, the dictate, the dance routine of the governor. So if the House of Assembly have been that is no domination of a particular party there, I bet you the local government will function. And like what our guest rightly said, unless we go back to the system of Okojiwa, where that the local government people, let's say like our we have 17 local government. They should have a chairman within the local government in the state. That every month the person should go to Abuja and collect money and come back to the state there and say, not state accountants to go and collect money and start giving to the local government. It will not work with. Because what is happening now, Sayori and my brother, do you know, because the governors sit down and dictate which local government, which state do you see where they have a balanced local government election? Any state, any political party that's ruling in that state, they dominate the whole system. That is, unless when there's elections, the government just scatter, whatever scatter, no domination by the ruling government in that state. That is where the local government functions. But as long as the governors continue and picking, doing all this committee chairman, the local government will see that dancing at the detriment of the masses, which is not healthy. All these activities are being done in local government. And the governor now ask me, the governor, you are collecting over billions of billions. You collect 3 billion as your own security bill every month. What are you doing with it? And your eyes are still there in the local government authority. What is that? You see, power and money is what is killing Nigeria. If the governor will concentrate purely on the state and allow the local government to function, I bet you all these insurgents, all these terrorists will not, they will not have they don't have a place to play. But because you allow the local government to be dying, now what is the governor doing with local government money? You are not satisfied with what you are going to pay for the federal government on this weekend. Nobody will take money to the grave. No condition this morning. Good morning, Ayori, and our guests.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Okay, Fred, you remember there was a time, Fred, when President...
yes, I'm here.
You remember when President Buhari also seems to be supportive of, look, deal with the local government, local governments directly. I fear that it wasn't like, and maybe the best evidence for that is this exercise now, where the states, are declining to give their assent to making it proper, rigid, and you can't get out of it. They just decided to leave it well alone. But you've heard Mazi Okoroafo saying that it's not going to work. It can't work that way. You've also heard earlier, George, you commented on that a bit. But look at it from Mazi's point of view. What would you say?
Well, the major challenge has always been that provision of the Constitution that has not been amended, which allows for state and local government joint account. That is the major problem. The second problem is allowing the state independent electoral commission, independent in quote, because they are not independent, to conduct local government elections. In some states, no elections are even conducted at all. A governor will come on board, use caretaker committee to finish his 4 years tenure, go back to election, use caretaker committee to finish his 8 years tenure, and there will be no conduct of local government election at all. It happened in my state, it happened in many other states, and many governors don't feel there's anything wrong about it, simply because it gives them opportunity to be in charge and in control of local government finances. Anambra State, for example, has 21 local governments. If an average local government earns about 16 million in a month, 60 multiplied by 20 alone will give you like in some of the oil-rich states and some of the mineral-rich states that get a lot of allocation, and there's some states that have so many local government areas. States like Kano and Jigawa and Kaduna, that you have 44 local government areas, and all the monies going to those local government areas are controlled by the state governor. How do you expect the governor to take his hands off the till?
Okay, one moment, Fred. I beg your pardon. Sorry to interrupt you, Fred. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. Yeah. But Benga in Abuja has also been on the line for a while. Good morning to you, Benga in Abuja.
Good morning, Mr. Yori. You are welcome. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much.
Good morning to Mr. Fred.
Yes.
When I heard that, I felt disappointed because the level of poverty in Nigeria today is at the local level. And once the local government are not autonomous and they cannot fund agriculture, they cannot fund education, then the people come to impoverish. During our own time, when I was growing up in the 70s, local government were the one constructing our roads. The school we went to, local government give us food. We went to local government health center. But now, you cannot, those are not existing again. Everybody now goes to the general hospital. It should not be. That's the reason why they say poverty, and they will blame Buhari for it. The local government and the state are contributing largely to the poverty in Nigeria because there's no good road. Look at it, Mr. Yori. The last erosion that happened in Nigeria affected the state in the south-south and some southwest and some south-southeast. It affected most people in the area, and the rest of it. If they manage the flood, now those people now in the next 6 months now they can't go back to their villages because of the flood, because it has not been over. By now, if the government is functioning, you have rural power supply, power by solar. The government can do that to power villages with solar, and that will limit or eliminate this urban rural migration. When people are comfortable in the villages, they have access to power, education, and the rest of it, they will develop. By now, we should have farm villages. Agriculture by local government, establishing farm villages where you can farm and support them. It's not existing because local government funds have been taken by the state.
Okay.
There's no way can prevent poverty without giving autonomy to local government.
Okay.
And I think the state should think twice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Benga in Abuja. Fred, we're going to come back. In case you want to comment on that, we're going to go on a quick break. Please hold the thought. We'll be right back.
On the 25th of February, Nigerians will go to the polls to elect President Muhammadu Buhari's successor, as well as the 109 senators and 360 members of the House of Representatives who will make up the 10th National Assembly. On the 11th of March, 28 out of 36 states will choose their next executive governors, and the 993 members of the state houses of assembly across the country will be decided. With over 93 million elections, for all the updates and analysis you need to know, every weekday at 6 p.m. There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back. We're looking at the announcement we got from the National Assembly. Results in 35 out of 44 bills were indeed approved by the state houses of assembly, but the one that a lot of people, most people probably had their eyes on, was autonomy for local government councils. That did not, meet with the favor the state houses of assembly. So that's what we're looking at now. And our guest is Fred Okenzeako, a lawyer and development economist. Just before I come to you, Fred, Yahaya has called in from Lokoja. Good morning, Mr. Yahaya.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. You know the local government system, most don't even know the function. Why? Because the state governors have already adjusted the system of the local government. Look at this law, just like the last caller just. Look at this law issues. I think the finance is being directed to the local government. All these things of channels, the drainages, people who will take care of some things that used to block all this water flow will be done by the local government. Even this insecurity that we are talking about. Those hunters, there are hunters in the local government system. There is hunters. All these hunters will be taken care of by the local government. They will finance them and they will take care of the communities. But the governors, they've adjusted the resources of the local government. The local government now is being paradise. You cannot even pay salaries. People who are working like the teachers, the local government cannot pay them salaries. That is why we have poor education in the local government system. So if the autonomy would be given to them directly, I think they will have a lot of money to take care of all these drainages, bridges, construction of street roads, employing people that will work in the local government system. Now, man, we don't even have people that are even working in the local government system.
Yeah.
If you go to the offices there, nobody.
Well,
nobody, because there is no finance to take care of the resources.
Yeah. As you say, Yahaya, they will have a lot of money. Perhaps that exactly is what is making the governors apprehensive that a lot of money in people's hands, they're not emasculated anymore. They can work off their own bat, and perhaps there are reasons to believe that the governments don't want that. The governors, I beg your pardon, don't want that. Fred Okenzeako is our guest this morning, and he's related to this particular aspect of it earlier in his presentation. That, well, the governors, in fact, Senator Omagege actually bemoaned the fact that governors sort of combined and interfered, and he said it was regrettable that they were doing so. So we're not getting the kind of thing that we should be getting from our lawmaking process. Fred, back to you. The gentleman who called in from Lokoja, Yahaya, he's also bemoaning the fact that there's so much that can be done by local governments, but how competent are they? What is the caliber of people there? Might that be a consideration for the governors to feel that, no, we can't let such power go to those people directly? They will be uncontrollable. Maybe if they were of the highest caliber of people, we might have a different kind of argument. Is that a relevant way of thinking at all, Fred?
Any governor that is saying, any governor that is expressing such sentiment is not being honest. Because there are very good people at the local government level. And if not for the emasculation and the strangulation of local government authority and the finances by the state governors, even more people with better capacity and better efficiency, people with better intelligence, people with robust ability will now become interested in working at the local government level. But what the governors do is that they do selection at the various government houses, and they just decide who to appoint caretaker committee chairman or who to elect in usually charade elections that are held, which they call local government elections. And by so doing, they don't like vibrant people, they don't like activists, they don't like people who will ask questions, they don't like people who will want to liberate the local government. They appoint their stooges and their yes men to man and handle local government. Whatever they give them as handouts, they will just go and manage at local government level, and the rest of the money goes to the state. Do you know that for the chairman of the local government, for example, to embark on any major project, he has to get approval from the governor, and not only get approval, it is the governor or the commissioner working for the governor that will determine.
Okay, Kesandu is standing by in Owerri. Good morning to you, Kesandu.
I greet you. Happy New Year, sir.
Indeed, compliments of the season to you too. Thank you for calling.
I wish you. Uncle Yuri, I want to say that no right-thinking and responsible person will take away the importance of the local government system. That is one. So I want to also sympathize with this group of people who actually came together to say no to our democracy, especially the Imo State House of Assembly. I want to say that Imo people, we have spoken in one voice that we're highly disappointed that they could vote against the local government autonomy. Uncle Yuri, straight to the point. You see, it is quite disheartening and unfortunate that at this time of our life as Nigerians, that we want to have a paradigm shift from what we are practicing and what ought to be done in the country. It is so disheartening and unfortunate that at this time of our life, when we want to say that we must take back our country, that we must change the scheme of things in this country, some persons have sworn that Nigeria will remain the way it is or even dwindle. Let me also say this. This has gone to show us the characters of some of these people that have called themselves governors and members of the State House of Assembly. And you see, somebody wrote a piece that said, "We the people are the demons of democracy." We have another opportunity now because we have seen these characters actually came together and said no to local government authority or autonomy. And some of them are seeking second term. Some of them want to go re-election. Is it not our responsibility as a people now to stand up and defend the local government now? This is the time. In your various federal constituencies and your state constituencies, people running for governorship, these are pertinent questions we must ask anybody who is coming to run for governorship. You must sign for us that we are going to support the local government autonomy because we must give it back. So I am pleading to Nigerians. Nigerians, it is unfortunate that these people who are infinitesimal in number that have come together from the coalition to rip us off our development. Are the governors not aware that local government autonomy and the local government system is the easiest access to the common man in my place? Are they not aware? Now look at what is happening in Imo State. When the governor came in, he told us he's going to conduct local government election that he's not going to do with the sole administration. But what is happening in Imo today? It is just about sole administration. And I know it's happening in so many states. So I am appealing to our Nigerians. We had a golden opportunity from February 25th to March to actually bring in men and women of impeccable character, because my alma mater says when character is lost, all is lost. It's unfortunate that this is the function of character. Let us be men and women of impeccable character that can help us and stand on their feet and say no to some of these governors who have actually sworn to be architects of our misfortune in this country. So if Nigeria is possible, we are ready to take back our country and we must return back the local government system. God bless us.
Thank you very much, Kesandu, calling in from, I believe it was already there. Fred, so where we are at now, what exactly does this do for the development and strengthening of democracy in our country? Because I imagine what we're talking about now, the complaints we have about local government autonomy missing the boat, so to speak, it's not about one party or the other. It seems to be the way across board the political parties. So what does this do, or perhaps not do, for strengthening our democracy? Okay.
Well, I agree completely with that scholar that the people need to stand up and defend the autonomy of the local government, because the Constitution has not given it such defense. And that is why when we complain about the nature of 1999 Constitution as not being people's Constitution, this is one of them. This is one of the major issues that has not allowed that Constitution to be development oriented, especially at the grassroots. Because the same Constitution that created the local government system also emasculated it by way of handing over the authority, so to speak, to the hands of the state governors, who now use the manipulative instrument of the House of Assembly to deny the local. So it's a big battle that must be fought by all Nigerians in order to extricate the local government from the stranglehold of the state governors. And if that is not done, then it is as well as forgetting the local government system. But that is why when we talk about restructuring of Nigeria, and that is what Alhaji Abubakar of PDP has been talking about restructuring, that one of the major things that will be done is to lobby the various governors to allow the states to have independence. And so many things will need to be done with respect to ensuring that our constitution is not only people-oriented constitution, but development-oriented constitution. Because Nigerian constitution as it is today does not allow for development at the grassroots. And that's one of the reasons why the governors are capitalizing on that to stifle.
Okay, let me take Ada in Jos. Good morning, Ada.
Good morning, Mr. Yoda, and good morning, Barrister Nzako.
Yeah.
Ada calling from Jos Plateau State. Let me tell you something, Mr. Yoda. You know, I've said it times without number. This character we are talking about is not just all about character. The white man behaves himself not because of the pigmentation of his skin. It's the laws in their land. If not, they want to open defecate, you know? What am I trying to say? You know, if we cannot strengthen our institutions, this problem of local government autonomy will continue this way. Since your guest, Barrister Nzako, even mentioned that it has been done once, you know, and that is when the checks were separated, the checks when it was separated. Why can't you follow that way now for now? That is, there are many ways to kill a rat, you know. We can't continue like this. Now, what if we practice fiscal federalism? Because we have a structural defect in Nigeria. That is the problem. All these people that are coming in saying that they will do this, they do that. If we don't address this issue of the structural defect and practice fiscal federalism, they cannot do anything. Put me anyway, they can't. You know, you can't use something on nothing. That is the problem we are having. So, the laws of the land control people's behavior. It helps to, regulate people's behavior. Why would the governors do what they are doing if we don't find a way around it? Then the citizens say, okay, us, we are a problem. We can take back our local government if we are really serious about it. When they now see that we are now, we raise our voices, they will have this routine. You know, it cannot continue like this. It's a third tier of government. Let us practice fiscal federalism and all this nonsense will stop. All the same, let's not give up on Nigeria.
All right, then. Thank you very much for calling in, Ada Ogadima. I hear that phrase every time Ada comes on. It will be well, I believe, is what it means. Fred, there you see, we have it there. We are suffering through, as it were. I mean, when I say we, that's from people who are advocates of the strengthening and deepening of democracy, perhaps such as your very good self, that are like this. And that's why state houses of assembly could not return, you know, the kind of what people would have thought is logical. So what is the illogicality as far as the state houses of assembly are seeing it, apart from the fact that you pointed out already that, no, they just want everything under the control of the governor, so that everybody shall be perhaps from their own party. Because if things were to be free and fair and democratic, and we could go to the polls, then you might have a mixture of people within those local government councils. But what you know happens is that if the government and the governor are from party A, then he wants every member of the local government council to also be a card-carrying member of party A, and so on. I don't know how helpful this is for the development, or shall we say, deepening of democracy.
The worrisome part of it is what you have highlighted, because the various state governors use the local government system as a very robust instrument in deepening the stranglehold of the party in the state. Take, for example, by the time the chairman of local government is appointed by the governor, he is accountable to the governor. All the councillors appointed by the governor, they are all accountable to the governor. And then the governor will find it easy to use these men and women to reach the grassroots, because they are now more or less like extension of the office of the governor, instead of being a third tier of government.
Exactly.
And that is why even when they try to hold the election is usually a charade.
Your learned colleague, Barrister Kajo in Abuja. Good morning to you, Barrister Kajo.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yes. Yes, I just wanted to make a comment on this issue of local government autonomy.
Sure.
You see, we in Nigeria, we believe that governors should have too much powers in their states. When local governments, for instance, in the first instance, we should know, are a creation of the Constitution. And they were created to serve as not as an appendage to the state governments. State governors are not answerable to anybody, yet they operate. So local government chairmen are not supposed to be answerable to state governors. As a creation of the Constitution has made adequate provisions to provide for checks and balances. And so a local government chairman should not be answerable to a state governor. In a democracy, power resides with the people. And so
but Barrister Kajo, I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Barrister Kajo. Our very first caller thought that this situation is something of a problem where the local government chair is not accountable to anyone if there is independence. And he feels that these are laws that, if we were to make them strong, cannot work in our society. Yes. So perhaps in saying what you're saying, could you relate to that?
Yes, they can. That's what I was trying to. Yes, that's where I'm going to.
Please continue.
Yes, they can, because the Constitution has made adequate provisions for this. There are checks and balances. A state governor is checked by the House of Assembly. And so if the state assembly are not doing what they are supposed to do, it's a different ballgame altogether. But then the state assembly are supposed to check the excess powers of the state governors. And then the judiciary is there too. If anything if the state governors are proven to be too stubborn, the judiciary should call them to order. And then the people should call the state governors to be answerable to them. It is for us as the people to make sure these state governors are answerable to us, and not for us to make them answerable to someone else. And the same thing should apply to local government chairmen. An executive local government chairman should be answerable to the people. The people have the power to call this state and local government chairmen to be answerable to them. They have representatives in the local government legislative assembly, which is the council of councillors, and they have the power through their councillors to call the local government chairman to order when they are going astray. And so this issue of saying a local government autonomy will not work in Nigeria should not arise. It should arise. Because in a democracy, power should reside with the people. So we don't have a wrong notion that, because the control the state governors are exerting over the local government is even creating more problems for us. You go to local governments now, no development. Money comes in, the state governor sits on it. Sometimes they just call this local government chairman to the state capital. They just tell them this is what was brought for you. They sign a paper, and then they tell the accountant general of the state or whatever they call them to just release a patronage sum to them. Sometimes the money released to the state local government chairman is not even enough to take care of the salaries of their workers, and it has become more problematic. No local government is even constructing a culvert now. When I was a child, in our local governments were constructing roads, they were building bridges, they were building, taking good, but these things are no longer there. And it's not all going well for us. So there is need to make local governments financially and legislatively autonomous. Okay. That would be a better way for us to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Kajo, calling in from Abuja. For a while there, Fred, you were out, courtesy of the drifting signals, but you're back with us now. And, I wish you had heard your learned brother, the case he made, that he is not impressed with the idea of local government councils can't be active and do the right thing. The whole matter about accountability, though, that our first caller, George, calling in from Lagos, had made was that it's not going to be a doable situation because they must be under somebody. Well, Kajo has said that the people, they are accountable ultimately to the people. And so I want you to look, George felt that it can't work. Simply because there's this whole matter about accountability. The governors want to be sure that everything is, the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted. In other words, let it be said, they don't trust them.
The governors themselves are not headmasters, Yori.
Okay, sorry, let me come back to you. Let me quickly include Paul, who has called in from Adamawa. In addition, please answer the two together. Good morning, Mr. Paul in Adamawa.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead quickly, please.
Yeah, the issue of this local government autonomy, my brother, we just pray that the president should do something very reasonable on it. Because, hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Please continue. We can hear you.
I pray, Koi, that the federal government and the president should assent onto that bill, because I have a friend who happens to be a local government administrator, and I was asking him when I was watching Peter Obi was campaigning. He said, "Do you know that over 100 million is sending to your local government? Can your local government account for that?" I call him like joke. I say, "My brother, this thing where Peter Obi they say 100 million is due sent to you, and you're not doing anything. Can you justify this thing?" And he began to tell me, "My brother, it's a pity. We are only called in the state capital to sign what we are not received." So I just pray that things should work well, that the federal government should do as much as possible to grant the local government autonomy so that the development can reach to the grassroots.
Okay, Paul, I beg your pardon. I've run out of time, but thank you very much for that contribution. I think we have the gist of it. Switching over to you, Fred, closing now. He was just saying that he really hopes that in spite of this setback, if one can call it that he hopes that the president steps in.
In spite of the setback, there is, I can tell you very honestly that there's nothing Mr. President can do because it's a constitutional matter. Sure that this passes. But now that APC is in the majority, these are some of the things that he can do. Go through your governors to reach out the state House of Assembly to ensure that there is autonomy to local government, and that is by giving their accent to at least 2/3 of the states of the federation.
Okay.
Giving their accent to the legislative work done by National Assembly.
All right, Fred, I'm afraid we've run out of time.
Section 7,
we've run out of time.
Section 7 of the Constitution.
Yes.
And without autonomy of local government, we cannot expect much at that tier of government.
Thank you very much, Fred. Okay, Nzako. We've run out of time completely. As always, thank you for making time for us. Well, we didn't get a time to talk about those that were actually, assented to by the states. The 35 out of the 44 is the one that is sort of obvious. It wasn't assented to, and a lot of people were keeping their eye on that. So it is what it is. We'll see how it can go. As Fred has just pointed out, it's a constitutional matter. The president can hardly come into it anymore. Well, we'll talk about this more, I'm sure. In the meantime, join us tomorrow, please, for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folare. Bye-bye.
Get 1 hour of YouTube data for 50 Naira or 3 hours for 130 Naira on the MTN network. Simply dial *131 *8 *1# today.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Happy New Year! ShopX TV is proud to bring you a very special offer. Yes, from now till January 31st, 2023, we are offering our customers an opportunity to save up to 66% of our best-selling kiddies product. Struggling with energetic kids, but you just can't get them to sleep? You need Happy Nappers, the perfect play pillows that pull open to a sleepy sack surprise. With a simple pull and zip, your child can snuggle up and nap inside of it.
They are happy, happy nappers. They love to sleep and play with you.
Then, when it's time to sleep, you just pull on their feet. Sleepy time, playtime, anytime is happy napper time. And when the napping is done, they fold back in for even more fun. Ordinarily, play pillows or blankets are not as much fun. They don't hold the heat in, unlike happy nappers. Just look at the fun characters that your kids will love. And the sleep sacks are completely enclosed to keep your child warm and cozy during nap times or even through the night.
Toluani absolutely loves her Happy Nappers kitty cat. It's pink, girly, and fluffy. Everything that she loves. Well, I love it because it's a 2-in-1. She can play with it all day, and when she's tired, she can take a nap in it.
The Tano loves his Happy Nappers Grey Shark. He loves playing with it and has real adventures with the shark. It's been really hard for him to sleep recently, but thanks to his Happy Nappers Shark, he finds it so easy to sleep all through the night. And to be honest, it's simply easier for me too as well.
With millions of units sold worldwide, Happy Nappers is now available in Nigeria exclusively from Shopx TV. Every Happy Nappers character is unique. You can choose from pink cat, grey shark, white unicorn, and even a pink unicorn. Don't forget, Happy Nappers comes with Shopx TV's 30-day money-back guarantee. Happy Nappers are a great gift for any child and comes in medium and large sizes. The large is ideal for kids that are over 7 years of age. Get the Shopx Medium Happy Napper for 25,950 Naira and the large Happy Napper for 39,950 Naira only. But wait, if you order right now, you can get 3 medium Happy Nappers for 59,950 Naira and 3 large Happy Nappers for 69,950 Naira. Call the number on your screen now or visit our website to order yours now. But hurry, limited stock available. So call now while stock lasts.
You can be a happy napper too!
Preceding was a paid presentation by Shopx TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Join me, Precious Amayo, as I bring you news from the epicenter, where it happens and when it happens, staying on top of every breaking story, minute by minute, right at the hour where the city gets busy and just before it sleeps. We're live from every angle with objective insight and analysis. TVC News, first with breaking news.